friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we're going to talk about two smartphones from Xiaomi, the Redmi Note 8 Pro, which was announced last week, with the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So Redmi Note 7 Pro was announced Feb 2019, and this is one device which has sold in millions, and this is definitely the most selling smartphone in India in the year 2019 with great hardware. It was the first smartphone in the budget segment with the Sony IMX580 sensor. Then we had a Snapdragon 675 making a debut in India. So this device was a real all-rounder in the sub 15k price segment, and this was priced at 13,999. Now the Redmi Note 8 Pro, which just launched last week, is again priced below the 15k price segment. It is priced 14,999. It comes with the Helio G90T processor. We also have upgrade in the camera. It's a quad camera setup. Batteries have been improved. So there are lots of things which are added in the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So is it a worthy upgrade over the Redmi Note 7 Pro? That's what we are going to compare in this video. So let's get started with the comparison. So first step, let's have a look at the design and build quality. Now looking at the design, so if you look at the back panel of these two devices, you can see that definitely the Redmi Note 8 Pro is a better looking device out there. You can see that the Redmi Note 7 Pro had a flat back, and this is more of a flat finish with a protruding camera unit. Now the Redmi Note 8 Pro has the design which is improved. You can see that the curved design on the back panel, and this is also gradient color which looks really nice. The quad camera setup and the fingerprint scanner arrangement is also pretty good. The glass finishing is also really good. We have curved finishing on all the four sides, which makes it easy to use. So it's really well built device in terms of the usability aspect, and even the design language looks good. Now if you look at the front panel of these two devices, so here also you can see that the bezels are lesser on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. You can see the chin at the bottom is on the higher side when compared to the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So in terms of design and build quality, the Redmi Note 8 Pro is definitely the winner here. So if looks matter, the Redmi Note 8 Pro is definitely the better device out there. Next, let's talk about the display. Now both the devices come with a Full HD Plus resolution display. We have an IPS LCD panel on both the phones. Now we have a HDR enabled display on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, making it better than the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Both have Gorilla Glass support. So display wise, we feel the Redmi Note 8 Pro again is an upgrade over the Redmi Note 7 Pro. HDR enabled display means you can watch videos in better color reproduction. So that is something which is really good on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So again, in terms of the display aspect, there is an upgrade on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Next, let's talk about the software. So we have the MIUI 10 on both these devices. Both are running on Android 9.0. So if you have been using MIUI, you can see that the MIUI on the Redmi Note 8 Pro and the Note 7 Pros are one and the same. No major difference here. Both have Android 9.0. Both will be getting Android 11. In fact, MIUI 11 update. MIUI 11 is coming to Note 7 Pro a bit more faster than the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So in terms of software experience, both are equally balanced and well, and there is no major difference here. Now next, let's talk about the performance side. So performance wise, we feel we'll divide into two aspects. One is day-to-day performance, and second is the gaming experience. So in terms of day-to-day performance, we can see that both are equally good. We have the Snapdragon 675 chipset, one of the really performing chipsets out there, with 4GB RAM being offered. Now we have the Helio G90T octa-core processor. It's a relatively newer chipset which is more intended for gaming. So in terms of day-to-day experience, which includes browsing, making calls, using social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, and a few daily apps, here we feel both are equally good. There is no major difference to tell in terms of the experience. So both are equally good in terms of performance in day-to-day aspect. Now next, let's talk about the gaming aspect. Now if you're a gamer and you want the best gaming experience, that's where the Redmi Note 8 Pro comes into picture with the Helio G90T processor, which is definitely powerful than the 675, especially in terms of the gaming experience. So if you're more into gaming, two aspects. One is the chipset is slightly more powerful than the 675, and second is a bigger display. It has a 6.5 inches display when compared to the 6.3 on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So those two aspects make the gaming experience better on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. We have also done a gaming video, so you can check out that video to see how the experience is. We have been pretty satisfied with what Redmi Note 8 Pro has to offer in terms of the gaming abilities. Now next, let's talk about the other aspects like fingerprint scanner, call quality and speaker performance. So fingerprint scanner is mounted on back panel on both the phones. Both does a pretty good job and both are equally fast. Even the face unlock is quite similar. No major difference we found on these two devices. Now the call quality is again really good. We didn't see any sort of issues. Now we did have a minor touch issue on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, and not a major concern though, because it can be fixed by software updates. It doesn't happen all the time. A couple of times we did notice, especially when you are doing some setups, that's where the touch was not registering, but not a major concern though. Next, let's talk about the cameras. So when Redmi Note 7 Pro was launched, it was one of the few smartphones with the Snapdragon 675 and the Sony's IMX586 sensor. So probably the first smartphone below 20k price segment with the Sony's IMX586 sensor. It also had a depth sensor. It's a dual camera setup. It was really good in terms of the camera experience. It also had a 13 megapixel selfie camera. So one of the really performing cameras when it was launched. Now we have the Redmi Note 8 Pro with quad camera setup. So we have 4 cameras. It is 64 megapixel Samsung's GW1 sensor. Then we have a 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, 2 megapixel depth sensor and a 2 megapixel macro camera is there. Now talking about the camera quality. So if you look at the camera aspect, so there isn't a major difference in terms of the performance, as the Redmi Note 8 Pro images feels a bit sharper and color reproduction feels slightly better on the Redmi Note 8 Pro when compared to the Note 7 Pro. There is a minor difference in terms of daylight performance, but two areas where the Redmi Note 8 Pro wins is, one is the ultra wide angle camera. Probably one of the best wide angle camera on the sub 15k price segment. It's an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. It performs really well. Now second being that there is a macro mode included. So macro mode takes some really good close-up shots, and this is definitely an added feature available. So these two features definitely make the camera better on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. The Redmi Note 7 Pro camera is still a stellar one, but there is some minor issues with the UI. We still face some issues with the UI because the UI feels slightly laggy even at times. Even with multiple updates, the UI still feels laggy. But otherwise the camera performance is definitely better on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So even if you are looking for a better camera, the Redmi Note 8 Pro is an upgrade there. Now finally, the battery life. So we have a 4000 mAh capacity battery with 18 watt fast charger support included, but the 18 watt fast charger is not included on the box package. But with the Redmi Note 8 Pro, we have a 4500 mAh capacity battery and 18 watt fast charger is included. Apart from that, you also get pretty good battery life on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Now battery life on the Redmi Note 7 Pro is also good, but with a slightly bigger capacity battery. We feel a slightly better battery life was found on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, but not by a huge margin though. So that was a detailed comparison of these two devices. So now if you're a Redmi Note 7 Pro user, so if you're a Redmi Note 7 Pro user, should you buy the Redmi Note 8 Pro? If improved battery life, you get fast charger out of the box, and there is also IP52 rating. So that's something which is not available on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Apart from that, it also get this new design and smaller areas. There is also Alexa built-in support. So these are some things which are not included in the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So that way, the Redmi Note 8 Pro is definitely a worthy upgrade over the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So if you are looking to buy a new smartphone, definitely we would suggest you to go with the Redmi Note 8 Pro, because the Redmi Note 7 Pro is now much cheaper, but we would still suggest you to go with the Redmi Note 8 Pro because it's a massive upgrade over the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Because it's a massive upgrade over the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So that was a detailed comparison of the Redmi Note 7 Pro with the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. This is Dharma signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.